Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a perfume haul. This is my second perfume haul of 2023. I know I said when I did my first perfume haul of 2023 that I was gonna like chill on buying, especially ever since I did my huge declutter at the beginning of this year. But you know what? I have bought a few perfumes here and there, and I also have perfumes that I just haven't made videos on that I've had for a while, so I still have an affordable version of this video to do, maybe a couple affordable perfume hauls to come. And I'm actually also thinking of doing another declutter pretty soon. I don't think it'll be as big as my first one, because in that one I got rid of like, I think it was like over 25 perfumes, so I don't think it'll be to that extent, but I do want to go into my collection one more time just because I feel like I could do a little bit better. So keep a lookout for another declutter video. Anyways, this perfume haul is going to consist of more high-end perfumes. I have two more niche perfumes that are a little bit more high-end than even your typical high-end perfumes, so I'm really excited to show those because those are my most recent purchases and I love them both. So I'm really excited to dive into the notes of all those and everything like that. So with all that being said, before we get into this video, please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and turn post notifications on, and let's get into this video. I'm gonna get started with probably like the mother of all perfumes. If you are in the perfume community at all, if you watch videos on TikTok, YouTube, literally anywhere, you have probably seen this at least once. Like, I can almost assure it. This is probably one of the most famous perfumes ever. I feel like right alongside Baccarat Rouge, this comes like a close second, and that is Delina. So I finally got my hands on Delina. I have talked about this perfume. I talked about it in my Valentine's Day recommendations video. If you haven't seen that, highly recommend you check that out because that video has some really nice recommendations. So I'll link it up here if you want to see that. So this perfume made its little debut in that video. I really wanted to save it just for this haul video, but I had to mention it in there because this perfume screams Valentine's Day. It's so romantic, it's so flirty, it's sexy, it's pink, the bottle is gorgeous. So this is what Delina's packaging looks like, and then you open it like that and there's your little perfume. I'm obsessed with this bottle. This may be my new favorite perfume bottle ever. Like, it's just so beautiful in my opinion, with the little tassels. It has this like vintage vibe going on. To me, this perfume is like a classic scent, and I don't just mean that because it's like, you know, it's a classic, but it also has a little bit of a classic perfume vibe to it, meaning like scent wise. This is predominantly a rose fragrance, and coming from me, I'm very sensitive to that note. Like, I either love it or I hate it. Sometimes rose is just too much in fragrances, and it gives off that like your grandma's purse or like your grandma's old wardrobe vibe. I don't mean that in an offensive way, but I think we all know what I'm talking about. That rose I highly dislike, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like there's some level of a pretty mature rose in here, but just the way that it's mixed with the other notes, it elevates it and it makes it really tolerable. Way more than tolerable, honestly, because I really have fallen in love with this fragrance. Now, this is the original Delina. I feel like with me mentioning this scent, I'm gonna have a lot of you guys recommending me the exclusive version. And I think because of what I like, and I love way sweeter fragrances, I think because of that, maybe a lot of you might tell me to get the exclusive version. I did smell that, and while it was amazing, and yes, the difference between the two is that the exclusive is a lot sweeter and a little bit more creamy, not as like bitter and almost sour like this one, because of that like lychee and the rhubarb note that it has. It gives it this like bittery sour quality mixed in with the rose. And the exclusive version is a lot sweeter because they've added a little bit more vanilla, I believe, in that sense. So it just has more of like a creamy, powdery, sweet vibe overall. And yes, while I love the exclusive, I still decided to go for this because I feel like this is just a classic. But yes, I highly do recommend the exclusive version if you want a sweeter version of this. Now, Delina is already a sweet fragrance. There's rose, like I said, there's lychee. It has a little bit of a fruity vibe mixed in with the rose. And then this also does have vanilla, just not to the extent of the exclusive. So yes, there is definitely a sweet vibe to this as well. This has top notes of lychee, rhubarb, bergamot, and nutmeg, middle notes of Turkish rose, peony, musk, petalia, and vanilla, and base notes of cashmere, cedar, incense, and Haitian vetiver. This perfume is so strange because I feel like literally when anybody has smelled this out the bottle, like I've had my friends smell this, or like my husband, or even me, I smell it out the bottle and I'm like, oh yeah, that's an amazing scent, especially now that I'm familiar with it. But I think upon first smell, especially when it's not on your skin, like you're just smelling it straight out the bottle, I feel like you might think that this is more of like an old school and just way too mature kind of a scent. But it does something beautiful once this actually hits your skin. There's just it transforms the fragrance. Like your skin chemistry just makes it so much better. And it's a fragrance that I get so many compliments on. It is a major performer in every way possible. It projects like crazy. It will fill up a room. So if you don't like strong fragrances, don't go for Delina. It's very, very strong. Because of that, it also lasts forever. Like when I say forever, you spray this on your clothes and until you wash them, even then they'll still be smelling like Delina. So it's definitely going to stick, and even on your skin it's no different. It's definitely one of the most potent, long-lasting scents I've ever had, which it definitely should be. That is the bare minimum for how much this is, because it's literally a car payment. I think this is like $375, which is insane, especially because it's not even a full size. Like a typical full size will be 3.4 100 ml. This isn't even that. This is 2.5. So it's not even like a full size bottle, and this is the biggest size that you can get. They do also have, I think, a 1 fluid ounce version, which is a lot smaller, obviously, and I think that one is $175. So this definitely takes the cake for most expensive perfume in my collection. It's even more expensive than Baccarat Rouge. It's like $20 to $30 more, and I thought it couldn't even get more expensive than that, but it does. There's more expensive perfumes than even this. I've been reviewing perfumes for so long now, and I love perfumes so much, so I felt like, you know, it was about time that I had this in my collection. Basically, this is like a really juicy, almost like citrusy rose. It has a really bright, almost sour, tangy vibe to it with a little bit of bitterness. It has a little bit of spice going on. It's a really complex scent. It's something I've never smelled in any perfume that I've ever smelled before. It's definitely one of a kind. It's a beautiful, super feminine, delicate, flirty, but also sexy scent. It gives me all the romantic, flirty vibes of Valentine's Day, and it is actually what I will be wearing this Valentine's Day. And fun fact, it's Valentine's Day as I'm filming this video. And then next up, I got a Jo Malone fragrance. This is my very first Jo Malone fragrance. Jo Malone was one of those brands that I would always like walk by the counters and I'd smell a few, but they'd just be way too fresh for my liking. They'd be really soft, kind of honestly didn't last that long, and that really sucks, especially for the price point that you're paying. This is more of like a designer price point. It's not as high as Delina, for example, but it's still not cheap. Like it was, I think this was $155. So after smelling almost all of the fragrances, I did really like a couple other ones. I think my second favorite after this one was Wood Sage and Sea Salt. But ultimately, I decided to go for Peony and Blush Suede because this fragrance just smells incredible. It smells rich. It smells rich. And another reason why I like this above all the other ones is just because this was the sweetest. Now, by no means is this like the sweetest fragrance I've ever smelled. No, it's not. But it definitely has sweetness to it, especially for the Jo Malone range where they're all like super like citrusy, soapy, fresh florals for the most part. This fragrance has top notes of red apple, middle notes of peony, rose, jasmine, and carnation, and base notes of suede. I would say the top notes that I smell in this are definitely the red apple because there is like a bright, juicy, but sweetness to this, and I think it probably comes from that red apple. And then that peony adds like a level of like femininity in here, which I really love, and I love the scent of peony. It's a really beautiful, like delicate pink floral. I don't smell much rose in here, and then I definitely smell the suede, but it's done in such a beautiful way in this where it's not like too leathery, or you know, sometimes leathery notes can come off almost smoky on the skin. That does not happen in here at all. The suede in here is really smooth and it's blended really nicely with all the other notes to where it doesn't stand out. This to me almost smells like some type of berry. I don't know how to explain it. Like it almost gives me like sweet candy vibes. I did spray some of the other ones on my skin. They all disappeared. This one seemed to be the only one that was like the longest lasting. Now I will still say that this is not the most amazing performance ever in a fragrance. Like I would say the longevity of this is about average, which for a more expensive scent, that's a little annoying. But at least on me, it did last for at least about 5 to 6 hours. And yeah, but it's just, it smells so good. There is like this sexiness about it, and it's also kind of like a flirty scent. Really, really feminine and pretty. I feel like this would be another like Valentine's Day scent that would be really good for this occasion. Now let's get into a little bit more affordable fragrances. Sort of, not really. I hate saying affordable when it comes to like designer scents because they're still like $100 and a little over, so no way affordable. But in comparison to $375, it's a little bit more affordable. This one is actually kind of almost the price point of the Jo Malone fragrances, so never mind on all of that. This is Viktor and Rolf's Flower Bomb. I finally got my hands on Flower Bomb. I've had Flower Bomb in the past. I decluttered it out of my collection just because even though I love the scent, I found that I wasn't using it. And I started craving it because I bought this Dossier perfume at Walmart one day. And I bought like the mimic of Flower Bomb and it smelled so good. And I was like, I just want this scent back in my collection. The only thing about Flower Bomb is that it does not really last. Considering how strong it kind of starts off and you think like, oh wow, this is a like little bit of a stronger scent, you know. It's probably gonna stick around. It kind of doesn't. It's not poor, but it's not great. But the scent of Flower Bomb is like one of my favorite scents. It's so sweet and sexy. It has like this sugary vibe. And although it's called Flower Bomb, I always say this, but I just don't see how this is a flower bomb at all. Like, okay, there's some type of floral in here, but this is more of like a sugar bomb, in my opinion. It's the type of scent that you know when you wear, you're gonna get compliments from literally everybody around you, especially men. Men really, really love Flower Bomb. It almost has like this thick, sticky, syrupy vibe to it because it's so like sweet. This has top notes of tea, bergamot, osmanthus, middle notes of orchid, jasmine, rose, and freesia, and African orange flower, and base notes of patchouli, musk, and vanilla. It's really strange because the notes of this make it out to be more of like a flower bomb, and then it looks more green. Like you'll see it up on the screen, but like all the notes just look so green and floral-y, and like the patchouli, the musk. Yeah, you get that bit of vanilla, but it seems like that's the only thing that's sweet in this fragrance. Yet this fragrance is like one of the sweetest fragrances I've ever smelled. So don't think that based off of those notes you're gonna get like a very floral scent if that's what you want, because this fragrance is sweet. It packs a punch and it's sweet. I honestly don't really get a strong patchouli vibe in here, which is nice for me. It's slightly in the dry down, it kind of adds a little bit of a green vibe to this to kind of like balance out the sweetness. But there's almost like a honey like scent to it that it really gives me like honey vibes. It kind of reminds me of Scandale by Jean Paul Gaultier, but like a little bit of a less intense version, because Scandale is literally, it's like made up of honey. It's literally like you're smelling a beehive. This is not honey to that point, but I definitely get a honey vibe in here. That's all I have to say about Flower Bomb. I'm sure you guys already know this fragrance. It's been around for a really long time. It's a classic. I feel like Flower Bomb was like the Delina back like 5 or 6 years ago. I think people loved this fragrance, and then it kind of like died down as all these other more niche perfumes kind of came in, like Delina or Baccarat Rouge, and all these other perfumes kind of moved up, and Flower Bomb kind of like took the back pedestal, you know. But I still think it's a great fragrance, and if you are a sweet, girly, like sugary, sexy, sweet type of perfume lover, then I think Flower Bomb is a great fragrance for you. The next fragrance, I think a lot of you guys are gonna be happy that I'm reviewing, because I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten recommendations to try out this fragrance and test it out. So I finally picked up Lolita Land by Lolita Land. So this Lolita fragrance is probably one of my most favorite fragrances of all time. Like, I'm so obsessed with this perfume, and I get compliments on it like no other. It's like a cherry licoricey sweet bomb. So I was seeing a lot of hype on Lolita Land. Now I have a few questions to ask you guys as I dive into the notes of this fragrance and everything like that. Is the juice supposed to be this dark, or did I get a bad one here? I feel like it looks darker than it is, but you can kind of see it maybe in the reflection. It's not too dark, but it's pretty dark. And based off of the way that this smells, I almost wonder if mine is like a bad one. I don't know. Let me get into what I think this smells like. I don't absolutely hate it, but there is something like off in mine, and I don't know if that's just the way the fragrance smells, or if, again, if I got a bad one. So before I tell you guys my opinions on it, I'm gonna read off the notes because this is pretty lengthy on the notes, and it has some really nice, unique notes, which is what drew me into this fragrance. So this has top notes of Bellini, Italian mandarin, orange, pepper, grapefruit, lemon, and lime. Middle notes of white peach, plum, black currant, jasmine sambac, jasmine, magnolia, and rose. And base notes of Madagascar vanilla, licorice, benzoin, white musk, and sandalwood. Based off the notes, when I finally did my research on this, I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna love that. Bellini, like that sounds amazing, like a peach sort of boozy vibe, so good. And then you get Madagascar vanilla. I saw the licorice and I thought, you know, maybe because of how much I love the licorice in here, that maybe it would be like the same type. The plum note in here I love. It's made up of a lot of really good notes, and people were kind of saying that this is like a peachy creamsicle or something like that, or some type of cake, like very gourmand. I think initially when I first spray this, I get almost like an orange peel. Like, you know, when you are like freshly peeling an orange, like that like intense citrusy scent. That's what I get at first. Then this dries down, and it's definitely the opposite of a linear fragrance. I'll tell you that right now, because it transforms into like 3 million different fragrances as it starts to dry down. But I would definitely say that my favorite part of this fragrance is the dry down, because that's when you get the sweeter notes and you get more of like this creaminess coming in, and then I'm getting like this creamsicle vibe and almost like cakey vibe. So yes, I do really love it. And as I'm kind of like waving my arms in the air, I do get this waft of like this really delicious sweet vanilla scent. But yeah, I don't know, there's just something weird in it, and I'm not saying that to say that I don't like the fragrance, but there is something weird, maybe a bitterness, and I'm wondering if that's something that only I smell. It's definitely like a citrusy creamy scent for sure, like an orange creamsicle. And don't get me wrong, I definitely love that, and smelling it I'm like, yeah, that's a pleasant scent. But then there's just something like an undertone or something that is a little bit off. Maybe I just need to wear this more, because this is pretty new to my collection. I've only had this for like a month, maybe not even that, so I haven't gotten to know it for that long. This is actually only like my second or third time even like spraying this out and smelling it, so maybe I just need to wear it more. Let me know if you guys think that maybe this is a bad batch, or like if the juice is too dark and maybe it's gone bad. I don't know what the deal is with this. Maybe it's perfectly fine, because honestly, reading some of the reviews, I totally get the vibe of what people say. Like some people do say that it's a little bitter and all of that, which I get. It's a strange fragrance. Like, I'll just leave it at that. I don't hate it, but I am going to continue wearing it just to kind of establish a concrete conclusion on this fragrance, because I'm a little bit like all over the place with it right now. So let me know your thoughts on Lolita Land, if what I described it is something that you get out of this fragrance, or I don't know, maybe it's just totally off. Let me know if you have this scent, if you smelled it. What are your thoughts on it? I'm really curious to know. All right, and then the last fragrance that I have to haul. This fragrance is actually a repurchase of a fragrance that I am very low on. I'm like on the last few drops, and that is MAC Turquatic. MAC Turquatic is one of my all-time favorite scents of all time. It's a scent that I could smell for the rest of my life very easily and be fully satisfied. This is my current MAC Turquatic, and as you can see, it's on its last few little drops. I am so intensely obsessed with MAC Turquatic, it's not even funny. Ooh, I just sprayed that on top of that Lolita Land scent, and the mixture is kind of nice. Like, the citrusy vibes of this kind of mix really nicely with the citrus vibes of that. Did I just do something? Wow, that actually smells so good. Okay, I think I just discovered a really good layering combo. Anyways, so I got this one. They only had a little 0.68 bottle of it. I wish they had a bigger bottle. I would have gotten it, but I went for whatever I could find. This is what this one looks like. I'm kind of sad because it's so tiny. Like, look how tiny it is compared to the full size. But, you know, at least I have a little bit for a good while, at least with this. It's not a fragrance that I use every single day, especially considering how many fragrances I have. So I'm gonna leave that one to the side. I'm just gonna talk about this because I don't want to like unnecessarily spray that fragrance because it's brand new. MAC Turquatic is what it kind of sounds like. It's like an aquatic scent, but it's so much more than that. It's a really complex aquatic scent. It's not that fresh aquatic scent that disappears off 2 seconds. It actually has pretty decent longevity and it's pretty strong, not in a headache inducing type of way, but it packs a punch in a really, really good way. It's a really inoffensive scent, and it's a type of scent where you can wear this and I feel like you'll get so many compliments because it just smells so amazing. This has notes of water notes, lotus, Amalfi lemon, Virginia cedar, anemone, and orris root. So it's kind of like a woody, citrusy, aquatic scent to kind of put it generally. It gives me vacation vibes, not because it smells tropical or like sunscreen or anything like that, but it smells aquatic. Like, it smells like you're on a luxurious beach vacation in Bora Bora. It smells so good, but even if you're not going on vacation, like, I feel like this is a really beautiful, even everyday scent. It could be a signature scent. You could wear it even going out. It's a really versatile scent. It kind of like adapts to any occasion. Like, it could be a casual scent, but it could also be a little bit more elevated if you're going out. And it's just stunning. Like, it's stunning. I could keep smelling this forever and ever and ever. I highly recommend MAC Turquatic. It's like one of the best scents ever made, period. So that is it for this haul video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for my more affordable perfume hauls coming up very soon. That is it for me today. Please let me know your thoughts on all these perfumes, especially Lolita Land, because, you know, I'm still trying to figure that scent out. Let me know your thoughts on it, definitely. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.